After I came on board as director of CMEA in the spring of 1997, I was approached by three of the founders, Caleb Pitters, Chris Burke, and Damian Dwin. All of the founders were seniors in their last semester, and they were concerned about the sustainability of the fellowship. And they asked if I, would use CMEA as a place to nurture the fellowship, if I would take responsibility for overseeing it while they were gone. And I said yes, and we all met with Jack DeGioia, who was then a vice president working in the provost's office, and the dean of students at the time, Jim Donahue, and we agreed that student affairs would provide some support for PHF, and I would provide the administrative guidance and advice and mentorship for the fellows moving forward. That was the deal we struck.
What the current fellows are able to do with respect to their capstone projects, their senior trip, and some of the other programs, it's gone well beyond a Kids to College program. The alumni have a lot to offer. We all come from very different walks of life. Fellowship also requires resources, which is something that alumni, as they get along within their careers, are in a position to assist.
For me, I think my involvement with the fellowship is because it keeps me connected to the Georgetown community in a way that just coming back for reunions or coming back for programs doesn't. When I can send money to the university, I can come back and look at the new buildings, but if I get to talk to students and I get to know what they're experiencing and what it's like in a daily life, I think that's really, really important, and that brings 3700 to life. Students have taken initiative, and I think that's one of the things that has made the fellowship so wonderful. You take the busiest people on campus, the most visible people on campus, and you tell them that, hey, here, you guys are 5. Make 5 do something meaningful, impactful, and change this campus.
The Patrick Healy Fellowship has really provided me a space to reflect and to really act on the issues that are important to us. This specific class of PHF, we see a lot of diverse interests. We see someone who's an aspiring filmmaker. We see someone who's going into computer science. We see someone who's interested in research and law. And I think that's really telling about how much bigger and how much more of an impact the Patrick Healy Fellowship can have.
As an alumni, I find myself still involved with the fellowship because plain and simply, it gives me life. One of my favorite memories from being actually a PHF alum was starting to work with Louisa when she had her initial concept for her business. She was a senior at the time, and she was like, so I have this incredible idea. I actually think I want to start my own business instead of going any of the other traditional routes. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. What are you thinking? And she was like, I want to start an ice cream company. And I was like, well, that sounds fun. So how does it work? And so then she started to describe to me this liquid nitrogen ice cream. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to have to go and get these big tanks of liquid nitrogen. Then you'll pour it into the mixture. And I remember asking her, like, is that legal? And then literally not even a month later, she's laying down her plan of how she's going to get this done. And so she said, the next thing that I need is a blender. And I was like, okay, so buy your first blender. And I'm thinking, $30 blender you get from Target, not realizing it's a $300 blender that you need for a business. With just the one blender and her idea, that grew in a year from her actually establishing a business, getting a business grant, doing the farmers markets, doing different events on Georgetown's campus. And then it's been such an honor for me to see her grow because I actually got to visit Lulu's in Miami last year, and then as well as to see her expand to a second location and just to see all the things that she's doing, literally starting with a basic idea that she brought to me one day when we were having lunch.
Looking back from when I started 12 years ago to where I am now, it's not just about that we're growing. I think it's about the quality of the growth.
I see this becoming one of those enduring Georgetown traditions like Mask and Bauble or the Chimes, something that becomes a hallmark of the university and is really one of the things that makes Georgetown special.